it's me Nirupama, and I'm here on part 2 of turbocharging your productivity, and today I'll be talking about the bottlenecks. And I have with me none other than Amandeep, who had shared with us last time the catalysts that help us in turbocharging our productivity. And today we'll be talking about the bottlenecks that we have to completely get outside our system so that we can perform our 100%. So today, Amandeep, thank you for sparing time and enlightening the people with your knowledge.
Pleasure. This is what my purpose is, so I'm here.
Right. Now, I would like to request Amandeep that if you could share that how important is self-worth, how important is self-esteem in order to succeed. Can you just throw some light on that?
Sure. I think one of my very important message in life has been about self-worth or, self-love. Now, I would say it's very important, for us human beings to be reminded of our successes. What I call, in my training is called the Jai-Ho list. Now, the Jai-Ho is not for somebody else. The Jai-Ho is for yourself. If you read the meaning of Jai-Ho, it means the praise for yourself.
Right.
So you got to have, a strong reminder of some of the peak points of your life.
Right.
If we dig deeper into our past, there have been many things, which we have achieved.
Right.
For most people, when it comes to that final decision moment of doing something big in their life, we're very stuck up with saying, oh, I don't know this, and I've never done this, and I'm not good enough for this.
Yeah.
But if we go back to listing out at least maybe 30, 40, 50, things which you have achieved. Maybe you were a class monitor when you were in 7th standard.
Right.
Maybe the first time you learned driving, maybe the first salary which came in your account, right? There are so many things, you can go into and see that there were successes. It doesn't matter if it's small or big. And I would say, just keep on piling up on that list. If you can make 100, 200, 1,000, maybe that's great. But if at least 30 to 40 you can put, on the list and frame it and put it in a place where you can see it more often.
Yeah.
And the more you can get reminded of the, the things you've done great in the past, it will become a catalyst to lift your spirit up to the level where it has to be to go through challenges.
Right.
Because when challenges come, people, get blocked up. They don't see what they've achieved. They just start thinking, what they don't have.
I know.
So that's the tip, I would like to leave these guys with.
Next thing I'd be talking about, Amandeep, whenever I have a lot of things on my platter, I get stressed out. And a lot of people are dealing with the same thing in their everyday life because there are so many things that they are dealing with. So now I would like to ask you that how do you keep away the stress and anxiety, from your life?
Okay, I think stress has become a overrated word, in today's time.
Yeah.
We all worried, because we put too much weight on ourselves. All I want to, say right now that there's a principle, I want to share, which maybe some of you have already heard about. It's from the Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits. He talks about these 4 quadrants. Important, urgent, not important, not urgent. So if you can prioritize your work, in terms, if you look at your list, some people say no, everything is important, everything is urgent. It cannot be, right?
Right.
So the thing you can say, you can start from the bottom, saying, if out of the number 10 and 9, if I have to choose which is important, you will have to come up with a conclusion.
Right.
And if out of the 2, which is urgent, you would know the urgency probably is 1% more than the other one.
Right.
So if you can, put your list together with 5 things which are very important to do, and plus they're urgent, so you can focus on that. And it doesn't mean that the things which are lower on the list, you don't do them. It's just that you prioritize in a way that you will come back to them later.
Right.
So that way, this is one of the techniques from where you can still, be in a position to function and be more productive. So that's what I want to leave you with for now.
Right. So we need to categorize our work into what is urgent and what is important. Next, I want to talk about that sometimes it so happens that we are surrounded by fear. Is fear good? Should we be having some sort of fear so that we are able to perform? Or a lot of time people are stopped by the fear of failure, and sometimes the fear of success also stops people. So what are your thoughts on fear?
I think you guys have already heard this. It's the truth of life that if you're human, you cannot help but have fear.
Yeah.
And we all have some kind of fear, which got created because our brain is not designed, in a way that we go around in the world, what amazing things can happen, right?
Yeah.
The brain is designed in such a way that we go around in the world, thinking what can go wrong now.
Right.
That's the way we were designed, and it was needed, when we were in the jungle, a few thousand years back. And if we did not have that fear mechanism, we would get eaten up, by a tiger or a lion.
Right.
So that threat mechanisms supported us, to get through that part of life.
Right.
But now we in the modern world, we have enough food on table, we all have shelter, there is no lion is about to attack us. So we still have that part of our brain, which goes around thinking, what can go wrong.
Right.
And most of the time they say, that fear is something you have created.
Right.
So if it's your creation, you can also, get rid of it. You can break it down. Obviously, you got to work on it, and
Right.
it's a process. It'll take a bit of time. Like Tony talks about this, like a thick rope. You
Right.
cannot break the rope, in one go. If you've been given fears in the first 7, 10, 20 years of your life, you've been conditioned in a certain way. You look at things in a certain way.
Right.
So what you're going to do is, break one thread at a time.
Right.
So if you're watching this video, you're doing a great favor to your life, in a way that you're doing a best investment to listen to this, and maybe from this something else will lead to, then something else will lead to. So then you would be able to understand this fear which is stopping you from being the person who you are. And then there are many other, training metaphors like fire walk, jumping out of the aeroplane. There are things, which you can do, which will help you to get out of your fear. But we all have fear, so work on it. It's a work in progress.
Amazing. So we need to remove thread by thread from our life.
Absolutely.
What an amazing learning. Now, another thing that comes here in this category of bottlenecks is overcommitment. Sometimes we commit beyond what we can, really fulfill. So, is commitment good? And what all things, we should be taking care of while we are committing to people?
Stop becoming a pleaser. Stop saying no to things you can't do, because you know it better than anybody else knows it.
Yeah.
So I would highly recommend, if you sometimes say no to people, it's perfectly okay. They say, you got to be selfish to be selfless. When T. Harvick, or one of the trainers who's written a book called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, he talks about this. You cannot just be a great giver and not be able to receive it on the same time. Because when you receive, you let others have the gift of giving it to you.
Yes.
So coming back, if you have too much work on your plate, guys, get rid of it. Secondly, you got to see, what things you are on priority, you do them, and what things are not on priority, you do them later. And if it's not meant for you, just say no. Say, sorry, I'm not supposed to do this, or this is not meant for you. If somebody else can help me with this, so you take over this. I think that's the strategy I want to leave, people here listening. That if you become too much of a pleaser and you keep saying yes, yes, yes for everything, then you're killing your soul, and that's not a good thing. You're ripping your soul apart. You all have a limit, We all have 24 hours. We can work for maybe 20 hours. At least we need 4 hours of sleep. So guys, get this right? If you have to say no for some things, you got to say no. So you need to know how to prioritize your things. And at the same time, there's something called chunking. You can chunk down. Let's say, if you that this is all your work. Something happened, right? And everything is piled up. So then you chunk it down. If you have everything to look at, you will go crazy.
Yeah.
So this is the way your brain is designed. So you chunk them down,
Right.
and you do piece by piece, piece by piece.
Right.
That will help you to at least ground yourself and
Right.
get more productive.
Right. That's a brilliant way of doing things. Looking at things. First is the power of no. You don't need to say yes to everything, and then you can try out chunking. Next, I would want you to tell the viewers that how can we get rid of our distractions? We have so many distractions in our life. So how can we, remove all those distractions from our mind?
Delete your Facebook account, delete your Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm just kidding. I would say, stay away from your phone. Like, I'm attending this training program, my phone is in my room. Because I know that if I keep the phone with me, I cannot help it but look at it after maybe every 20 minutes or half an hour. Some people can't even take their eyes off from the phone.
Yeah.
So this is something, where, again, it comes back to self-discipline. If you know there is something very important for you in your life, you cannot help it. Find a way to become more self-disciplined. So I would say, guys, stay away from your phone, keep it on silent when it's not really required, and that way it will help you to become more focused in your life.
Finally, I would like to ask Amandeep that what has been the role of mentors in your life? Do you have some mentors in your life? And should each one of us be going for a mentor? Who should guide us? And what are the ways that we choose a mentor for us?
Wow, so many questions. Very powerful question. Very quickly, my story, if you guys read about it, right? I came from a one-room house. My parents are illiterate. I'm a mixed child. I was suicidal at the age of 16, and somehow I reached London 10 years back because one of my cousins helped me. And then I attended Tony's program, then started learning, and then I became one of the trainers for Tony. This all became possible, because of the mentorship and training and coaching I went through.
Right.
I'm a complete product of training.
Yeah.
If somebody saw me 10, 12 years back, they would not believe, what I'm doing. I'm looking at the camera, speaking, confidently. If you ever get to come and see me live, you will know that I'm phenomenally great. That's why people call me the Indian version of Tony Robbins, And this all became possible because I had people to coach me, to guide me, to tell me where to go and what not to do, what to do.
Yeah.
They've done a research, that talent is not something we need to look for. We are all born talented.
Yeah.
it's the skill we need to acquire. And if you want to become a master at something, you got to be training for 10,000 hours over 10 years. And to train, you have to be in a coachable environment.
Yeah.
Somebody who can look at the minor distinctions, change them, and move them around and tell them what to do.
Right.
So coming back, the last question, how do you choose your mentor? A mentor is somebody who lives his message or her message. They say be the change you want to see in the world, Mahatma Gandhi. So congruency builds credibility. You cannot be a smoker and teach others how to quit smoking. So if you want to choose a mentor, you got to know your mentor walks their talk. Once they walks their talk, they are the right person to work with.
Awesome. I mean, those are the quick tips, that we could use for choosing our mentor. Finally, I would want Amandeep you to tell the audience about your upcoming programs and, your trainings and how do they happen, where all can we attend you, where all can we reach you on social media.
Well, if you just Google my full name, Amandeep Thind, I will just come up. I'm the most famous person after Tony Robbins. We have got a few workshops lined up for India. I mean, when I go back to London, on 15th. And then I've got a few workshops lined up for Tony, in Europe. If you are from part of Europe, check my social media page, Facebook page. You would get to know. For India, I'm coming back. I think end of February. We have a program lined up in Delhi, and then I'm doing a program in Colombo in Sri Lanka. And there are a few things which we are planning. So the calendar would be out in the next few weeks. So if you keep a check on my Facebook page or somewhere on social media, you will get to know about it. Or just contact this beautiful lady here. She will tell you.
So this comes to the end of our program. I mean, thank you so much, Amandeep, for helping us out in this whole series of turbocharging our productivity. I mean, these lessons are really valuable. I mean, not only the viewers, I mean, I would myself try to, follow all the lessons that you have, enlightened us with. Thank you so much for sparing your time, and we had a brilliant time interviewing you.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.